Appreciate everyone coming to join us today for a presentation. It's a great environment. Obviously, it's been a long time since we've seen a conference this well attended and this busy, so it must have something to do with gold knocking on $5,000 an ounce and a global situation that doesn't look like the gold price is going down anytime soon. So I'm Dan Wilton. I'm the CEO of First Mining Gold. I'm going to be walking through a few forward-looking statements here. So First Mining is, here we go, advancing two of the largest undeveloped gold projects in Canada. Our Springpole gold project in Ontario, 5 million ounce project, so really sort of, globally significant scale. And one of the next projects, we believe, to get its environmental assessment approvals. We are looking for that EA approval in Q2 of this year. That's the end of what has been an 8-year process going through environmental assessments. The one thing I can tell you is you'd rather be at the end of that process than at the beginning. So significant catalyst coming up for our company in the near term here. What that means for you as investors is you don't have to go through that long journey that a lot of our investors have gone through to what we think is going to be a significant re-rating event. Our second project in Duparquet, located right in the middle of the Abitibi Gold Belt in Quebec, past producing mine, 3.5 million ounces of measured and indicated resource, another 2.5 million of inferred. So again, another significant project at reasonably advanced stage, very well drilled out. It was taken to pre-feasibility study in 2014. We'll talk a little bit more about the project so we have time, just conscious that 10 minutes is not a lot of time. A number of other projects that we have in the company. So, to take a step back, company was founded by Keith Neumeyer, who is the founder and CEO of First Majestic Silver. I think Keith might be presenting on the other side of the hall here right now. For those of you who don't remember, Keith is the guy who, 15 years ago, said that silver is going to go to $100, and everyone laughed at him. And on Friday, silver traded over $100 an ounce. So he founded First Mining with a similar kind of long-term vision, picked up a bunch of very good advanced stage resources in Canada when you could buy them for less than $10 an ounce, and put this portfolio together. And we've used this portfolio over the last 5 years to bring in partners and create some liquidity for us to have the money to be able to advance our two largest projects. So still have a number of exposure to these other projects, but really focused in the very near term here on Springpole and on Duparquet. We're trading today, the market cap on a fully diluted basis this past week kind of went over $1 billion. That's a significant increase in the last 9 months. Our share price at 69 cents or close at 69 cents on Friday. In April of last year, we were trading at 12 cents. So it's a combination of things, obviously a remarkable gold environment, but a lot of it is just as we have approached these really near-term and significant catalysts, investors are starting to realize that there is a real shortage of advanced stage projects in good jurisdictions that could see a shovel in the ground before 2030, and our Springpole project is one of them. So in case you're wondering, I had talked a little bit about how the share price has moved. If you're wondering, have I missed it? The answer is no. We've gone from trading at $7 an ounce earlier this year to today trading $45 to $50 an ounce. But in that same time, a lot of our peers, these advanced stage projects, are trading at closer, they've gone from $150 an ounce to $250 an ounce. And we think the real catalyst for us to close that gap from, call it 50 to 250 an ounce, is in us receiving our environmental assessment approvals for our Springpole project, and again, targeting that in Q2 of this year. So it really is a very near-term catalyst. The other thing is to look at, in the industry, large gold projects in Canada are the most strategic assets in the gold industry. And I don't think anyone can really debate that. Maybe put Australia and the US on that list, but the ones in Canada are amongst the most significant and most sought after gold projects in the industry. there's been an accelerating pace of larger companies coming in to acquire these projects. And you can see how that's continued to pick up pace. Well, the reality is here we are, 2 of the 10 largest, call it developable gold projects in Canada, and one of the most advanced. Because when you look at this list, there's maybe 3 projects on this list that could see construction start before 2030. And we know that because we know where these projects are on permitting processes and environmental assessment processes, particularly in Canada. And we know that because we've gone through that process over the last 8 years. And the governments are trying to speed that process up, and we're highly encouraged by what we're seeing. But the one thing I can tell you as an investor, I would rather be investing in a project that's at the end of that process than at the beginning of that process. So, again, significant scale, meaningful assets. Our Spring Pole project, we just updated our pre-feasibility study in November of last year, so these are very fresh numbers. It shows a project that can produce more than 300,000 ounces a year, which is a big mine. This would be a top 10 mine, currently operating mine in Canada. Very attractive long-term costs. And interestingly, about 5% of our revenue at Spring Pole is silver. When we did this study, these are the numbers with this project at a $3,100 gold price. So the fact that we're closing in on 5,000, the one thing these projects give you is significant leverage to a higher gold price. And silver price. So about 5% of our revenue is silver. If you look at that on a byproduct basis, at $100 silver, the costs, all-in sustaining costs of this mine would be around $700 an ounce, which would make it one of the lowest cost operating mines in the world. So very significant production profile. And again here, just to kind of show, we had a spot case in our study that showed a $4,200 gold price, and that seemed kind of high when we put it out, a couple of months ago, and here we are today with the gold price almost through $5,000. And you can see the difference between 3,100 and 4,200. It almost doubles the after-tax NPV of this project. So when we think about the value in our company, particularly just starting with Spring Pole with some of those flexibilities, at a $4,200 gold price, and that's giving a $2,200 gold price to our Duparquet project. We won't talk about that too much because we know that number is a lot higher, but it's the only one we have in our reports. But we're talking about something that's about $5 a share, call it, in net present value, fundamental value of these assets at a $4,200 gold price, so considerably higher at 5,000. And you can buy the shares today for 69 cents. So there's still, historically, companies sort of at this stage have traded in that 0.5 to 0.7 times that fundamental value. So we have a lot of room to see the share price continue to move up just to be valued sort of where our peers are. And the one thing these projects really do give you, you can see it here, it's that leverage to a higher gold price. Our Duparquet project, for example, if you look at that at a gold price that would be anything like spot today, you're talking about a project that would have a $3 or $4 billion net present value. So again, market cap today at about $1 billion. We think the fundamental value in these projects at a current gold price is something that's a lot closer to, $7 or $8 billion. There's a real shortage of these projects. Very few of these projects are as advanced as our Spring Pole project is in that environmental assessment. And the real opportunity today for investors in First Mining is to participate in what is that real acceleration phase of the Lassonde curve. If you're familiar with that paradigm, as projects advance, we've been through the part where investors don't care, which is when you're permitting projects. And we can attest to that because our share price has reflected that over a number of years. But we're at the point now where the value is starting to be recognized. So really appreciate everyone being here today. We're at a booth just a couple of rows out and to the left. Encourage you to come and talk to us more. And to find more information, our website's a great place to start, www.firstmininggold.com. Or you can reach out to Paul Morris, our Director of Investor Relations at paul@firstmininggold.com. Wish you a very good conference. Thanks for attending.